Share screen with your audience. Hey, I'm live. Nice. I hope this is working now. I wanted to say that pressing that go live button was way scarier than it should have been. Making my first live, though I think the saturation is a little high. Looks like the camera saturation is a wee bit high. Let's see if I can fix that. Yeah, going live. I can't do that because the camera's in use. Hello, my live chat. This is my very first live ever, and essentially a trial run. But I figured in order to have a second live chat, you have to have a first live chat and get over any of those initial butterflies of going live and actually just dealing with any awkwardness. Hi, me and the ASMR. Oh my goodness, 2 people? That is literally 2 more people than I figured would ever join for a live. So thanks, guys. Yeah, this is my first live ever. Started making content about, I don't know, what, maybe 2 or 3 months ago again. 3 guys. Okay, we're 300% over my initial goal of 0 live viewers. So, like, you guys all rock. Thank you for joining. My plans today are to talk with you guys. Oh, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. That was partially why I wanted to do a live today, is because holidays seem to, at least what I've heard, holidays people tend to be more sad, a bit more down, etc. And I usually end my family's festivities fairly early in the day. And so I thought, cool, let's go hang out with some people and try out a live. So my plan for today was to do a follow along face and neck massage, of course, using my massage expertise. But yeah, to follow along and also just chat with everybody. But please let me know. Having a few viewers is actually very appreciative. So thank you so much. Please let me know if you guys have questions or there's things I can change, because it's my first live, if I haven't mentioned, for the 13th time. So I've got room to improve. But yeah, without further ado, the plan, got some lotion on the side here, a little bit of massage lotion. But yeah, the plan is to chat with you guys, ask me anything along the way. Happy Thanksgiving, Rosa Marie. Turkey, maple leaf. Nice. Thank you for the comments. The plan is to do a follow along face. See, all you guys who have hair, you can't do this. That sucks. Where am I from? I am from Washington State. Spokane, Washington. How about you, Miss Anna Apples? Any massage, we just apply a lotion all over. Warm it up in your hands. I shouldn't say any massage, because a lot of my massages, I'll actually spend the first 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes sometimes, working on a client without lotion. From the South. Hey, well, thanks for joining from the South. I do, it just snowed here. So, assuming that you guys have nicer weather in the South, I'm a bit envious. But yes, any self massage, if you have lotion hanging around, throw some on there because it's good stuff. Also, I hope the audio is good as well. Once again, just yell at me if it's not. Easy. Slightly cooler, warm. Nice. Yeah, it's way too cold. Oh, thank you so much. Cool. Appreciate it. It's not so much the coldness, it's the dryness. I am dying because my skin gets too dry. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Sierra. Appreciate it. So, mm, yeah, the coldness is one thing, but the dryness just sucks. So if you guys have a bit more humidity, that's nice. So, any self massage, honestly, the best place to start if you're working on the head, face, neck is gonna be the forehead. What's your favorite cream or oil? My favorite, so I actually use a lotion, and it is just the Biotome massage lotion. It's unscented, unfiltered, and I've been using that for years. It's nothing fancy, but you generally want to avoid additives because you could have a fancy lotion and then one of your clients is allergic to it. So yeah, it's not what I have right now. I just picked up this like random Lubriderm that we have in the house. It's not my favorite, but Biotome would be. Mucky Lady, hi from Scotland. Wow, that is so cool. Thank you for commenting from Scotland. I appreciate it. And I'm super helpful. No, I'm super glad that the videos were helpful for the exams. We're just doing finger circles on temporalis and work into frontalis. But the massage exams are pretty much great question. Very light pressure, very light pressure. Just fingertips, palms. But back to you, Mucky Lady. The massage exams are just the biggest hurdle for most therapists. You really just have to get through them. Okay, there it was. I was like, I wonder in a live chat where the first question is going to be. That's like, you know. um, yeah, the exams are just the biggest hurdle that most therapists have to get over. And then once you get into the field, that's truly when you learn everything. I was wondering, I was like, man, my first live. I mean, honestly, I truly thought like this is so cool. I thought I was like, all right, I might get like 5 viewers and I'll just upload it anyway. But wow, this is way more chatting than I thought. You guys are awesome. So I probably worked the temporalis enough, very light, broad circles. And then we're going to work into frontalis. Fun fact, the frontalis muscles have one job and one job only, and that is to lift your eyebrows. That's all they do. You think it was? Oh, well, thank you so much. Yes. I just feel bad because I've taken some major breaks throughout uploading, as you guys have clearly seen. And I'm back with a definitely renewed sense of purpose in life, like personally and creative wise. And so, looking back, it's like I had all these very loyal supporters. I mean, you guys are still here, but I would then disappear for like 2 years. And, I was just dealing with anxiety and stuff that life is, everyone's going to have those moments. And I'll talk about that more. But I've been thankful, I think around March of this year, I really turned things around and cleared my mind and got like this sense of purpose again. And then it took about 6 months. So finish up with Frontalis. It took about 6 months for me to then gain my motivation back. And that's when I started doing social media again. So we've warmed up temporalis, we've warmed up frontalis. Let's come down. Still light pressure, fingertips or palms. Might be easier if you don't have a beard. I don't know. And just warming it up. This is all warm up. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been awesome. And coming back these last couple months, I'm going a little fast from warm up. But coming back these last couple months, it's just so cool. So thank you so much to everyone that watches the videos, likes, comments, subscribes. I really appreciate you guys hanging out for years. I'm like that. emotionally distant boyfriend that just ditches you and you guys are all just stuck in Stockholm syndrome. Like you're like, "Oh, I love him. I can't leave him." And then I appear 2 years later and also work a bit under the eye. At the nose, this is Procerus nasalis. And then once that's all warmed up, we're actually gonna warm up our ears. Here it is. Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Justin. I was looking back at some of my old videos. I think I uploaded my first video when I was 20, maybe, and I'm 32 now. And my voice was so much different. I will say, turns out when you record yourself and then watch it back for thousands of hours, you learn how to speak a little bit better. Warming up the ears, give them a light pull. You can do some vibration. I would say on my clients, about 50% of people have really tight cartilage in the ear. And they're always surprised when I say that they have tight ears. I'm like, "Ooh, your cartilage in the ears is really tight." And people are like, "What do you mean? That's my ears are just my ears." I'm like, "I get that." But some people have very loose ears, and some people, mm, some people have tight ears, which you wouldn't think about since it's a cartilage and not muscle. Hey, right on, rival. Yeah, seriously, man. Pardon me. Yeah, seriously, it's been so long. I know I had this really like thick accent back then, and it is cool to look back and be like, okay, I've got, you know, doo, doo, doo. So I'm getting distracted by just how good the ear pulling feels. Yeah, just looking back, and it's like, yeah, 15 years of uploading or however long it may be. It's kind of cool to look back. I also liked it, Rival, because when everyone's like, "Oh, what have you been up to?" and everyone always says, "Oh, just work." I could show them. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, well, I made these videos. There you go." Um, how can you tell, Dan? Yeah, that one is just 14 years as a massage therapist. When you've given like 14,000 massages, it's kind of the same question. How can you tell where muscle knots are? How can you tell if a muscle's tight? After you've given so many massages and you've just touched so many different bodies and so much muscle, you can just kind of tell. You know what healthy, soft, like malleable tissue should feel like. And then you can get a feel for contracted, dense, uh, dehydrated, tightened, etc. All right. So we've warmed up the whole front. We're going to go back to the back here. Well, part of my avatar blanket. And we're just going to warm up the back of the neck. Hopefully you can hear me. The back of the neck and the suboccipitals. I'm going to keep looking this way while we do it, but just to show you what it was like. And then we'll actually be ready to start pressing in a bit more since we've warmed everything up. Honestly, if somebody is tight or tense enough, um, the warm up alone will feel really good. Yes, I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. Thus the blanket. Definitely one of my favorite shows as a kid and has carried through to adulthood. Huge help. Thank you, Travis Jose. Oh, 3 weeks left, man. Good luck. You got it. Yeah, the MBLEX is the big one. I remember, honestly, I barely passed the MBLEX. I think you need an 80, if I'm correct. And I got like an 84 or something. It was not, I was not a test savant by any means. But that's my thing. I'm turned into a zaddy, Jenny. But that's the thing. It's like, maybe a bit controversial, but I'm like, The MBLEX is just a speed bump to get past because your skill as a therapist is going to grow, tenfold by getting into the field and practicing. So the number one thing about the MBLEX is just to like make sure you know your basics. Yes, it will. The C, me and the C. Yep, I'm gonna probably upload it later. I'll probably cut out any boring parts. Although I know I'm never boring. No, I'm quite boring sometimes. But I'll probably upload it later. So yeah, I will upload this later once I figure it all out. Warm up is done. We have warmed up. I'm like actually sweating, probably because of the bright light there and the pressure of 21 people watching me. Oh my goodness. No. Hello, everybody. Let's do just a hair of SCM work and side neck. The scalenes here, this attachment at the clavicle is going to be the big one that most people are very tight. The traps, levator, scalenes, there's three of them, and an SCM muscle. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I think it's more I've got the bright ring light and it's balmy. And cool down this side. Now, what type of massage do you guys like? Do you guys prefer Swedish, deep tissue, sports, cupping? Let me know because there's like 100 different modalities. All right. I think we've warmed up enough. So let's start deep tissue all the way. You're my guy, Dan. Same here. That is the cornerstone of my massage. We're going to start working a little bit deeper, and we're going to start on temporalis down into the TMJ, the temporomandibular joint. Swedish deep tissue sports, love it. Yeah, Swedish is still good. I'm a deep tissue guy. Let me finish my thought. Take those fingertips, and now we can start to apply more pressure. Let's go circular. Start at the temporomandibular joint, and then work up and work out. So we'll start there. Swedish deep tissue sports, nice hula. Deep tissue, also a big fan of self massage videos. Someone who can't get a massage often. Absolutely. And I'll start making more self massage videos. I used to make a lot. And then in my head, I was like, everybody only wants to see you massage people. And so I switched all that. But that's not the truth. Self massage videos are very popular, and I have watched many of them. Swedish Mr. Rogers, excellent. Deep tissue and lymphatic. Ooh, core art, nice. Lymphatic is one of my favorites, not only to receive, but to deliver. Lymphatic is so cool. And the lymphatic system, actually, the lymphatic system in my mind is the coolest system we have in our body. And I'll tell you guys why. I've got a pretty good analogy, I think. The lymphatic system is literally the police system of our body. So the lymphatic channels that go through our whole body and our lymph nodes, right? Everyone knows about lymph nodes. When your body has a waste, a bacteria, something harmful that it wants to get rid of, your body will send out lymphocytes to go find those. And it will grab them and put them into the back of a police car, a lymphocyte, and it will ride up the freeway or the lymph channel up to lymph nodes, which are jail cells. And it will drop the harmful bacteria, waste, whatever, into these lymph nodes where this waste is now just stuck until your body eventually sends white blood cells to the lymph node to kill it. It's literally like a policing system that grabs harmful bacteria and puts it in your lymph nodes or jail until the white blood cells come and kill whatever harmful stuff is in it. So so cool. My freeway's a parking lot. Oh no, Dan. Okay, let's see. Let's go back. Also, deep tissue and Swedish, probably the two most common types of massage. Both have their both have their purposes. And any good deep tissue massage still begins as a Swedish massage. It just then eventually goes deeper. But let's see. Oh, the Swedish injury assessment as tools in my box. Yeah, Travis Jose, you got it. They're all tools, like deep tissue. We've done enough temporalis now. Now that we've done our fingers and stuff, let's run to the joint here. This one's going to be tender on a lot of people. So let's just do some specific, either up and down, or if it feels better, you can go cross fiber. This can be really tender. So we're going to jump in right into TMJ work, but this is where the stars have guided me. So that's what we're doing. To do. So, right, Travis Jose, they're all different tools that we have. I'll tell that to a lot of my clients. At this point, 14 years in, my toolbox of massage techniques is so big that in any 90-minute massage, I'm not going to give them all of my tools, right? I have so many things I could use that they'll often be like, "Oh, you've never done this before," if I'm trying a new technique. And it's because, like, yeah, I just run out of time. I mean, I could literally spend 90 minutes massaging someone's head and neck or massaging someone's hips and legs. I've done it before and I'll do it again. Yay. I'm glad it feels good, Dan. Ashiatsu massage. Yeah, Ashiatsu is super cool. So I'm not trained in Ashiatsu, but I have a good friend who is. She runs an Ashiatsu clinic, and I get an Ashiatsu massage every couple of months. I get a regular massage every like 2 to 3 weeks. As that loosens up and the pain goes away, you can start to work lower into the jaw. Let's see how I talk with jaw work. Nail. So my friend, yeah, she runs the Space in Spokane, which is an Ashiatsu clinic, and I love Ashiatsu. I think it's very cool. It does have, a few quirks about it. Essentially, the pressure you're choosing is either deep or deeper, right? There's no light pressure when it comes to Ashiatsu. And then compared to hands-on massage, it can't quite get into the specifics that fingers can. Like how could someone's foot hook in here or like hook, in here. But the pressure is, much, much deeper and much more broad. So my back will often crack when I get an Ashiatsu massage. And honestly, you can't even tell that it's somebody's feet because it doesn't even feel like a foot, man. It's really cool. So yes, Ashiatsu has definitely risen in popularity, and I think it's worth trying out. Dry massage at start, longer than 10 minutes, deep tissue, name is something strong but relaxing. Sounds like you got a good technique down, Pete. Deep tissue trigger point. All right, you guys ready for a doozy of a trigger point? I've talked about this before. Got some stuff on my hands. But it is at the attachment right inside the eyebrows here. And then we're also going to go into the eyes. So this connection here is of the procerus and then the depressor supercilii or the oppressor supercilii. One of those two. I think it's depressor, yes, because it depresses the eyebrows. And we're taking our thumbs, fingers, you can stack. I've taught you guys about my pirate hook before where I stack my fingers if you want to save your thumbs. But we'll use my thumbs for now. Am I trained in Ashiatsu? Nope, not trained. I'm glad it's feeling good, Dan. And then even hips was fascinating. Yeah, many people need psoas QL work. Yeah, Jose, I saw that. It was a very cool video. So for anyone who doesn't know, essentially, And I saw it from another therapist, TikTok or Insta or something. That is one thing I'm really working to connect now with a lot of other therapists. That's something I haven't done in the past times of social media. And so I'm looking more to like connect with others. But um, what was I saying? The TMJ connected to the hips. So essentially, this therapist was talking about her client had TMJ pain, and she went down and worked the hips and then the iliopsoas, which is our deepest hip flexor in the abdomen. And it essentially stopped this client's TMJ. And that actually inspired me to look up after you sinusitis. Yes, this can help, Grant. So after working here, you can also begin to pinch your eyebrows and work your way out. We're going to spend some good time here because it's just such a money spot. This is full of tension. It will also stop eyebrow drooping. So if someone's talking like this the whole time and they get these little frown lines, this will help fix that. But yes, basically the iliopsoas, it inspired me to look up fascia chains. And I actually looked it up on a cadaver because I'm weird like that. And I like realizing, I like seeing the actual connections. But yeah, the iliopsoas runs all the way up to the tongue, actually. But through that, the TMJ will be affected. So if somebody has TMJ and they're getting a massage, I at least in person now would start to also work on abdominal, rectus abdominis, iliopsoas, etc. The latest techniques. Absolutely, Pete. That's a great idea. I will reach out. The owner's name is Mariah. I mean, she gets very busy because she has hired quite a few new employees and she also teaches Ashiatsu. So I think she's been teaching, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 girls at this point how to do it. So yeah, that is what's cool. YouTube 2475, deep tissue sweetest. Yes, perfect. Love the deep tissue first because hi, Jessica. Thoughts on Thai massage? Thai massage is really cool. I've never had it done, I must admit. Let's finish up with some pinchies here. Finishing up with the eyebrows here. We're going to take this into a little, just a tricky little lymphatic work where we take our two fingers, very light pressure, excuse me, very light pressure, and we're just going to pull away. I'm just switching it up on you guys. But Thai massage is really cool. I like the stretching. I like that they use their body to do it. I think that's really cool. Like I said, I've never had one done and I need to amend that. So I need to go find a Thai massage and go get one because how can you really understand something if you don't try it for yourself? So I must admit, I don't know that much about Thai massage, but as an outside perspective, I think it looks very cool. I like that it saves the therapist's body, and I think it has a high skill ceiling. Basically, a master of Thai massage does some cool shit. Can I cuss on here? Yeah, they do really cool. So let's see. Often sinusitis. I'm glad it's helping a grant. Tell you my eyebrows were right, Rosalind. The eyebrow spot can get so sensitive. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so what often hurts you guys the most? So you go get a massage or just in everyday life. What do you guys, how's the body feeling? What's hurting you guys? And then, yes, Pete, I have to shoot Mariah a message. I know she's super busy, as I mentioned, but I would love to film with her again. I filmed with her in the past, got some pretty cool footage, and I was but a young lad then. Oh, I didn't explain this part. Sorry. So after we pull out lightly to the side, I started doing it without telling you guys. Then we take the same thing and we bring it down behind the jaw to the front of the throat, to the trachea. So after the light lymphatic work out to the side, we then bring it down and to the back. So out to the side and then down and to the back, to the front of the trachea. So this is one of my favorite lymphatic moves because it clears your sinuses. Allergy season. I have two cats and I'm actually slightly allergic to cats. And so this is one I find myself doing all the time. Traps and occiput. Yes. So traps are definitely a given. Occipital area, and we'll actually, that kind of inspires me to go back there. We'll do some work there. But traps are tight on everyone. But the more I've worked, I think it is these guys, the scalenes, that are causing the traps to hurt. The traps get all the blame because they do hurt, these big, thick muscles, these guys. But the three scalenes in the front, boom, they're pulling the traps forward. And so in the past, when I thought people's shoulders were rounded, I thought that their pecs were pulling it forward like that. But essentially, what I've now realized is they're rotated inward like that because of tight traps and scalenes. And so I'd work on their pecs, opening the pecs, and their shoulders would still be rounded. And that's because it is actually coming from the anterior neck. Boom, they're rolled forward. So by releasing this front area, pulls the traps back and actually relaxes the traps and levators. On top of then doing trapezius levator work. So, yes. But actually, after that nice little lymphatic work, let's walk our way back to suboccipitals. Boom. So we're gonna find the suboccipital divot right back here. Boom. And then when we find it, we're gonna press in, shorten our head back, or rather, we're gonna shorten our head back first and then press in and then bring our head forward. Okay, so bring it back, press in, and then forward, back. So back, press in, forward. Lower back, Sierra foothills, yes. I think low back. So low back and headaches are the two most common pains in America. And I'm not doing the pin and stretch, but you can also just shorten your head and then double stack your fingers. Make sure you're double stacking not just one, but two or even multiple. You can go all four and you can just hold it and work it back and forth like that. So, Sierra, yeah, the low back hurts everybody. It's not necessarily our fault. It's not your fault, guys. From the time that we're like 4 years old, we're put into a chair and we're told to sit, and that will see us all the way through college, high school, college, whatever. And then most people get out of that and they get into a desk job. And so their low back is never even given a chance from young childhood. And kind of that carries over to the same thing you're saying, Mucky, about the hips. It's not necessarily our fault. Travis Jose, upper traps, rhomboid pain, medial rotators, and protractors. Yes. Yeah, same thing. I mean, we're so rounded. Rhomboids are working hard and they get beat up pretty well. Grab a drink of water real quick. Alrighty. Here is often overlooked. That is a good note, Jose. We'll talk about that in a second. But yes, upper traps, rhomboids. I think rhomboids is maybe controversial, but I think rhomboids are chronically overworked by most therapists. So, yes, everybody feels pain in their mid back. Everybody has a big old rhomboid knot. I get it. Work down to the back of the neck. Let's do some finger circles on the back of the neck. But yes, rhomboids, they tend to get overworked, I believe. Yes, people have big knots and it does need to be released. But most massages, if I do a proper warm up with some good deep tissue in there, I think it can be achieved, I don't know, within 20 to 30 minutes, really. If somebody's doing 40 plus minutes on the upper back, chances are the body's inflamed, it's fighting back, the trapezius is angry. So, yeah, but not to say that people don't have pain there. So, thank you for telling me that, Jose. The C, aside from neck and shoulders, low bics, low back and hips. Yeah, neck and shoulders, low back and hips. Same thing, right? Headaches, which is often neck, and then low back being the second most common pain. Hips and low back are also that problem because we're told to sit forever. It's not our fault. Camera, what's up? Okay, there we go. Cool. Shoulder blades. Yep. So Danny's here, right? So that's back to the rhomboids we talked about. Okay. Probably done with that. We hit that, hit that, hit that, hit that. Let's work. Needle side of knee hurts. Ooh, smart solar plexus. Ooh, that's a fun one to talk about. Let's work a bit of SCM, one of my favorites to self massage of all time. So you can either bend your head to the side and find it, or you can turn your head to the side, or excuse me, rotate away, and it'll pop out and then shorten. But you're just going to grab it and first just kind of grab it and vibrate or shake just to give it a feel. Bop, bop. Boards. I'm not still bodybuilding competitively. I only did that for a few years, but I still hey, thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Damn. I've actually been, the holiday season, you know how it goes. So I'm probably up a few pounds lately, but I still lift weights. I do really like lifting weights. So I've still been at the gym about 4 days a week. And then any therapist knows that you're gonna get strong from massage, right? I got this Popeye forearms, like those. Yes, it's late weightlifting, but it's also massage therapy. Miss Anna Apples, yes, yoga. Talking about yoga, people stretching as a whole is very cool. Does anyone do Pilates? Because I haven't done Pilates, but I've talked to my clients and they have they'll be like, "Oh, I do Pilates." And I used to think that that was just yoga or stretching. It is not. Pilates is freaking intense. Like they show me what they're doing. This is one way I love to massage the SCM. I will take the inside of my thumb and then I'll find it, boom, right there. And then I wrap my four fingers around the other side and I can really grab my SCM without it being pinchy. That's the key. So if you can, like soft side of the thumb there, there, and then wrap, and now I've got my whole SCM, and you can walk it up, so there we go, like that, and that is one of my favorite ways to work the SCM. But yeah, yeah, Miss Anna, Pilates is absolutely brutal, and I haven't done it, and I'll just do stretching at home. That's really the most way I do stretching is I basically stretch and foam roll every night. So I practice what I preach. Looking at you, Dan. No, not looking at you, Dan. uh, so yeah, yoga, Pilates is very helpful. People talk about how much it helps with pain and all that, and just stretching in general. And foam rolling, like I said, goes without saying. Let's work the other SCM. Goes without saying to do your stretching, your foam roll, etc. That's going to go so much. Yeah, serratus anterior, Jose. So for anyone who doesn't know, serratus anterior is a muscle on the front of the rib cage here, and it's a protractor of the scapula, meaning it pulls it forward like that. And yeah, it's very overlooked, along with like just costal attachments of the latissimus of your lats. So yeah, this area as a whole doesn't get worked all that much or well. Just yeah, yeah, I'm over here now. So that area tends to get overlooked a lot. And I think it's very important. Most people, if somebody has winged out scapula, so their shoulder blade is like stretching out really far, they have a very weak serratus anterior and they need to strengthen it. Vice versa, if someone's scapula is just glued down and you can't get under it, then they need to release their serratus anterior. So, yes. Mm, and I definitely think it's, as you said, Jose, it's overlooked and a muscle and area as a whole that a therapist has to get comfortable with working. It's cool is my ear just popped by doing this work and all the work we've done so far. My ear just popped. So if somebody's ears are clogged, maybe try squeezing your SCM. Mm, mm, Medial side of the knee and gastroc. Have you considered making a course? I have St. Juice so many times. Like I said earlier, I think it goes back to figuring out where I was in life and what I wanted. Because yes, I had plans. I want to make a course. I want to teach. I want to go online. I want to go live, right? And here we are in our first live. And so I had all these ideas of things I wanted to do, and I knew I could do them. I knew there was the capability, right? I knew I could, but I had this other part of my life, right? Like addiction and anxiety, depression, etc., that was stopping me from filling out this thing, and it caused a big battle internally. So that was a very loaded way of saying, yes, I do want to make a course. And now that I'm very clear minded and back to like a driven focus, that is on the agenda. I would love to make some CEUs, massage courses, etc. So, and honestly, going live and having like such an incredible support system here, like from the first live ever, really gives me hope and optimism that it would be received well. Because there's always that imposter part of you that's like, oh, make a course, and one person's going to comment it, and oh, thank you, Jessica, I appreciate that. One person's going to comment and be like, go back home. So there's always that imposter syndrome that we all experience. Okay, thank you, Tori, and Dan, appreciate you. I was gonna say, hi, Red X did. Hi, Red. Thank you so much, man. Right on. Thanks for commenting from Vancouver. Redacted. Okay. The X was throwing me off. I did want to talk. So let's see. Right. We've done all the face. Let's work into traps. I will say, I brought out this little massage tool I bought for like $8 off Amazon one time. This is what I use a lot for my traps. If you don't have that, which I assume most people don't, that's fine. You can use your thumb or fingertips, stacked fingers. Just don't want you to guys hurt your thumb, right? I don't want people like digging into their traps with a pointed thumb because it's just not great for the metacarpal joint or the thumb as a whole. So I'm going to use this little tool if you have something. But once again, knuckles work just fine. Fingertips work just fine. So, but we're just going to warm up the traps by going from the top of the shoulder, right where they attach to the clavicle. They actually wrap forward, and then up to the sides of the neck, transverse process, and all that. So, uh, honestly, I don't even know what it's called. I literally just looked up massage tool on Amazon. I found the cheapest one. Like I said, I think it was like $8, a little wooden thingy, and I probably bought it like 4 years ago. So this is, if this was an advertisement, it'd be the worst advertisement in the world because I'm like, I don't know what it's called. Figure it out. Yeah. Have you guys, so if you're not a professional therapist, have you guys given friends massages? When was your, or better yet, have you given someone a massage, or when was your first time you ever got a massage? So, as we warm up the traps, and I'm going to run back because I did want to talk about solar plexus, the side of the knee, and the gastroc. So, what he's talking about, I'm going to do a Captain Morgan, is in here, basically. I presume he could be talking about the outside, but most people talk about the medial aspect. So, and the medial aspect or the inside is a tendon called the pes anserine tendon. And it's basically very tight. It's a tight junction between the gastroc soleus, which is the calf, as he was talking about, medial front. Okay, perfect. Yep, medial or inside. And so it's this tight junction between the gastroc soleus, the tight calf, and then the hamstrings and the adductors. All three of them combine into a tendon that we call the pes anserine tendon. And that area on everyone, I start working it and it gets very, very tender. I'm digging in here. Make sure to work the full length of the traps as much as you can reach, all the way up to the sides. And then, right in here, you're not just working the trapezius there, but as that warms up, levator scapula is right underneath it. So that's why you feel that big knot. So, yes, the medial or inside part of the knee hurts because it is very fascially restricted. So, there's a lot of fascia and a lot of connective tissue. Anyway, so that. Yeah, thank you so much for all the support on going live, guys. I really appreciate it. This is fun. I like chatting with you guys. I didn't know what to expect. And like I said at the very beginning, when I don't think anyone was in here yet, but I was really nervous to press that go live button. Obviously, just the first time, but I'm chilling now. This is very comfortable. So thank you guys. Yeah, it's fun talking with everyone. I'm treating SI joint dysfunction, redacted. Have I made a specific SI? I probably have, but off the top of my head, have I made a good one? Is the question. I can always make another. So I've definitely made a ton of low back massage videos and then a lot of hip massage videos. And I know in those, I talk a lot about the sacrum. However, I think it may be time to make a specific SI joint. Actually, I'm gonna write that down real quick. I keep a list of all video ideas. So let me write that down. Who asked that? The SI. Redacted. Yeah, thank you, Redacted. That is a great idea. I will be sure to make a specific SI joint. SI joint pain video. Because, yeah, I'm sure I've made one in the hips and the low back. But if I have not made a specific video talking about the sacroiliac, the SI, then I need to. Media friend, perfect. Yeah, Travis says, hey, the HM. That's a great question. It stands for Harwood Muscle. So I'm Harwood. I massage muscle. What is funny is it was originally health and muscle. I was originally health and muscle, and then I wanted to switch it. Kind of working. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see because I'm blocking it, but traps is an area that you can spend a solid amount of time working. When you've warmed up the traps so you feel like it got enough, let's work into some scalings because I think this is important and probably the biggest takeaway from the self massage will be some scaling work. A little bit of lotion. Oh, here's a question. What was the worst massage experience you guys have ever had? Not like I mean, if it's really bad, you can tell me, but not like, oh, I was getting a massage and my therapist happened to be Jason and he pulled out a machete and killed me. That would be a bad experience. But what yeah, what's your guys' worst experience? Um, Goodness, where was I going? I completely lost my train of thought before that. Apologies. Oh, the HM. What was funny is the name was originally Health and Muscle Massage, and I switched it to Harwood Muscle Massage. And thankfully, they both just started with an H. But what was cool is I sent a letter to the government. I was literally like, "Dear government, please change this." And they never replied, but a month later or whatever, the name got changed. And so I was like, "That's very cool." Oh no. I was like, "That's very cool that I wrote dear government and they made the change." It's like you wrote to them and it worked. So that was cool. HM. Yeah, you're definitely not a pro. Yeah, for sure, Dan. I also want to get more massages, and I get one every 3 weeks. Happy to help, solar plexus. Thank you. Appreciate the support. You have helped me with that comment, so thank you. Right now, I've been working this triangle. Find the clavicle, and now we're gonna really start working this scaling attachments. Press in here, and when you're comfortable, just do light cross fiber. If you feel tight, ropey muscles, hold them for a little bit. Okay, this is the good scaling work we need. First massage ever. It was on a Molly. It was on top of me, straddling my head. She was punching my calves. Planes are pretty cool. Oh no, I said I'd never get another one. Okay, yeah. I mean, when somebody has a bad first time experience with a massage, I always like I die a bit because that person could go on to say, I don't like massage. And really what they don't like is bad massages. It's kind of like eating a piece of food that's just awful. Oh, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. Yeah, you guys heard her. Everyone double tap the screen and support the channel. Or else. Yeah. um so yeah, people who get a bad massage. It's like going and having bad food somewhere. The restaurant could be good, but you've had a bad experience. So why would you go back, right? The brain remembers bad experiences more than we remember good experiences. It's a learning process. So that is kind of hilarious though, Planes. Like I'm just picturing her like she's on top of you, she's got your head and she's just punching you. That's pretty funny, Planes. Thank you, Dan. Could you meant the abductors of the hip? Absolutely. So 60 rotators. Yes. So the adductor, well, you mentioned abductors of the hip as in pulls the hip away. Yes, solar plexus. We can talk about that. Oh, yeah, SI. I'm losing it. I know exactly what you mean, solar plexus. So SI joint, basically the glutes have to pull themselves back. You have to work those. So yeah, Dan, wasn't enough pressure. You said it, man. That can ruin any massage. I've switched to the other side of the scalenes now. This side's feeling pretty good. A little bit. Actually, I lied. This back one underneath the traps here. This is the posterior scalene. This is probably the tightest on most people. And for me, it's not quite released yet. So I'm going to come in with my tool. Ugh, get a good right there. Yes, like that. I'm going to hang out there. There. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Like you said, Dan, wasn't enough pressure. There's multiple ways to generate pressure as well. And so if someone doesn't have enough pressure, it's usually I say a skill issue as in they may have not been doing it that long, but it's always a killer if just you want someone to really like get to that next layer. Doesn't have to mean hurt, doesn't have to mean press harder. You just want to get into that layer that's hurting you. The massager was constantly having their hands go all over the place, no flow. Yeah, redacted. You're touching on a good topic, man. Or woman. It's redacted. Who knows? uh Redacted. The flow thing, right? People like a sense of predictability. Doesn't mean do the same thing all the time, but flow is telling their body what to expect and where I'm going next. That's a big reason I hate breaking contact. In a 60-minute massage or a 90-minute, which is mostly what I do, this is finally loosened up, by the way. I don't like to have my hands off of their body for more than 30 seconds. And it's just to grab a hot towel. And even then, I will often like tap the towel cabinet to let them know where I'm at in the room. Their body needs a sense of what's going to happen. Otherwise, it might go into alarm, which is really what makes the massage bad, right? No flow is bad on its own. But as you said, redacted, it's when their hands go all over the place, you don't know what's happening next. And that can actually spike the nervous system. First day of swapping massages. Had nails and scratched around the scapula. Oh no. Yes. In massage school, excuse me. Um, in massage school, I think it was like four guys, me being one of them, and like 26 girls or something. And a lot of them had long nails, nice nails. And our instructor talked about how they were going to have to cut their nails and keep them short for like a year. Because exactly that. I have, I know therapists now who switch over to the other side. Camera work. Okay. uh, I know therapists now who still have nails and massage. They make it work, not something I have to worry about. But especially when you're in school and you don't have that expertise yet, you're going to scratch somebody. And it's just a health thing, right? If you have long nails and you go and you work on someone and all their dead skin cells are getting under your nails, and then sure, you wash your hands, but you go into the next thing, those nails are like, those nails have accumulated like dead skin cells from multiple clients. It's just kind of gross. Jack Ripper, Chinese guy pressing on my spine. Don't touch the spine. Yes. Bone on bone never feels good anyway. As a therapist, if you are extremely skilled and you know exactly what you're doing, there has been some work right around the spine into some like multifidi and like some really intricate spinous muscles that I have worked on before. But this is like, I know exactly what I'm doing, and you are going light as can be. I mean, you know exactly what you're doing. If it's just some Chinese guy, as you mentioned, pressing on your spine, that's not good. And 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time, you just don't ever want to be touching the spine. You don't really ever want to be pressing bones on bones, etc., etc. Now, first massage was. Thank you again, Jessica, for everyone telling the support. As a student therapist, how do you approach trigger points that don't release with compression or dynamic release techniques? Good question. Trigger points that don't release. His scalings are feeling a lot better now. Let me show you guys a quick pin and stretch, then we'll talk about those trigger points. For that, my favorite scaling pin and stretch. When you shorten your head, we're going to take our soft fingers, press right behind the clavicle here. So shorten, press in like that. Yep. And then I'm going to slowly pull my neck away. You will feel this. This is my scalenes are pretty loose. I work on them a lot, and I still feel this stretch. So shorten, press down on your collarbone, your clavicle, right behind it, and then slowly stretch out your neck. Woo! That's money. And you can work back to the traps, pushing directly back like that. Same thing, shorten, push back, and then stretch the neck away. Ah, this one's a good one. It's one of my favorite pin and stretches to do. That's nice. And then we'll do the other side. Shorten, press, aside. Shorten, press, aside. Very nice. Ooh, also helping to clear the ear again. This side, it's popped my ear twice. I clearly have a little bit of like lymphatic buildup or just fascial tension on the left side of my neck, which is actually my MO. And I have now noticed that it's clearly reduced because my ear popped twice. So sometimes you do get those immediate reactions. But yes, when talking about trigger points, really, if they don't release, you need more time. That's what happens. Quickly, I think that's all I had planned for the face, head, and neck. My next plan was to switch to a bit of forearm and hand self massage. Depending on how the live went, I had a plan. We're actually at an hour, which is crazy. It's gone so fast. Thank you guys. You guys are so cool. Basically, if I reached an hour and it was like, nobody was here, it's like, oh, good, call it there. But this is super fun. So my plan was to go to hands and forearms unless you guys wanted something else. We can work pecs, shoulders. What else? Mm, Anything really. Hands is great. Cool. I like it. Okay, sorry. Back to the trigger points. If something doesn't release, it generally needs more time. That's what I think. But it's not to say that it necessarily needs more direct pressure on it. It depends on the trigger point and where it's at. Like every other massage, we're just lotioning, get those hands a little warm. They should be pretty warm because we just did an hour of face massage, which is a long time for a face massage. And so they should be pretty loose already. So let's start by no thumb work. I don't like using my thumbs that much because it hurts us. Fingertips, pirates. And we'll just start going up and down. Let's keep it right now to follow the lines of your fingers. So boom, 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 and then out to the thumb. So yeah, let's just do that. You can also um, support the digit in the fingers and just kind of wiggle back and forth. This is just our warm up for the joints more than the muscle. Yes, dynamic release techniques. What point should I consider referring to the client to another healthcare professional? Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to think on that redacted because that's there's a lot of things to think there. But if something needs longer to release, it needs more time, more sessions. You have to hit it from different angles. And I would say that if the client isn't improving and you felt that you have done all you can with the muscular system. So massage therapists, we are the pinnacle of muscles. There is no other profession, at least theoretically, that should know muscles better than we do. Now, if it gets into skeletal, nervous system, etc., then we may have to start referring out and be like, hey, I think this is a nervous problem. I think it's not your leg, it's an impinged nerve in the lumbar spine, etc. Then we start to refer out. So, but if it's a muscle knot, a trigger point, I will pretty much attack that thing. Attack being a hypothetical. I will get after that thing. I don't know, man. I will. I'm very persistent. So, Sierra Foothills, whole body, deep to moderate tissue, 90 fluff and buff. The famous fluff and buff or the infamous fluff and buff. Yes, that goes back to just not enough pressure. Which once again, it's generally a skill and time in the field thing, or maybe how tired they were. I mean, I've definitely given some massages. You can't give however many massages I've given without giving a few that you're just freaking wiped. Let's see. What tools helped get over that hurdle to clarity? Thank you for sharing. Yeah, ebb and flow. That's a big one, and it's something I'll probably upload a whole video about. But I would say the biggest thing for me, and this is a little more personal, but I used to I used to do edibles a lot or like get high. So that was a big one, was just kind of becoming more sober. And funny enough, massage school is what originally got me into smoking weed. And then I just did that for a long time, which in a weird way helped me make the videos, but it reached a point. And then because I also had a lot of anxiety, ebb and flow, all the typical stuff, I hopped on some anti-anxiety meds, which are great, big fan. And then I went to therapy. I talked to somebody else, but the big one was really clear in my mind of like, I've never been a big drinker, and I quit smoking, a few years ago because like it's just bad for the lungs and lymphatic, but I would still get high with like edibles and stuff. And that as a whole, just I think it worsened my anxiety and it totally made me like lose focus and lose clarity. And ultimately, I couldn't be the person I wanted to be. I think I had this best version of myself, at least an idea of it. And that was holding me back. I was choosing the temporary happiness of, getting high versus you figuring myself out. And then take all that aside, right? Those are mechanisms that I think can help people like get sober, therapy, etc. I had to go on a bit more, in addition, a bit more of an intrinsic thing of figuring out your purpose in life. And, you can have purpose like I'm going to take out the trash, right? That's a purpose. But just figuring out a bit more like in the world, why am I here? And what do I want out of life? And ultimately, what I figured out was I want to help people. I want to make people feel better. I think that is a big thing because I'm good at that. I think I'm good at that. I generally can help people feel better and it makes me feel good. And yeah. Um, so, yeah. Uh, I can't tell anybody their purpose or whatever. There's actually Healthy Gamer GG is the streamer that I watched and he was who I watched a lot of and helped me kind of answer some of those questions. He's really cool, so I'd recommend checking him out. But anyway, yeah, big loaded question there, ebb and flow, which I do want to make a full video on and just upload that because I think there's just so many things I want to talk about on that topic. Like it's such a big topic that I would love to just talk about it. I'm taking my tool and I've been working the thumb pad, if you guys have noticed. And the biggest thing about the thumb pad is going towards the wrist. You can go against the wrist if it hurts. If it hurts too much to go this way, you can soften it by going away from the wrist, so distally. But going proximally towards the wrist is how you're going to get into those deep layers and get into some nice release. So, nah, nah, nah. That mine is so sore. Must have been from one of the things we're working on. I don't know. Yeah, need some more go. Thank you, planes. Yep, I'll be in Spokane for the foreseeable future. So if anyone's ever in Spokane, definitely feel free to message. I'm often quite busy. Um, exactly, Dan. Yeah, you guys don't need to eat. I don't even need to eat. Why are we not just getting 7 massages a week and then living on the streets? That's what all our money's going towards now. What CE classes should you take to learn how to apply more pressure? Some say I'm heavy handed, and I have others say it's just not deep enough. Yeah, good question. Any the wounds and the gifts. Yes, they do, solar plexus. Very nice saying. So yeah, to apply more pressure, of course there's loads of CEs that may specialize in giving pressure. As far as what's around and what's in the area, I'm not sure. Oftentimes I think the three biggest ways to improve your pressure, right? Number one, warming up more. I know this can be tough because the second we breathe, clients are like, "Can you go deeper?" And we're we're over here like, "Okay, I just warmed up." But um, warming up the top layers of tissue can be very helpful when trying to achieve the deep pressure. If we warm up something enough, we don't even have to press harder. We don't have to press that much harder. Number two is just what is it? Force, right? So if I'm pressing hard versus I come in with an elbow and I just make a very sharp point on the elbow, which I will say over years, my elbow has literally gotten pointier. Like that is 14 years of massage right there. It has literally gotten a point to work deep into muscles. Um, so you can generate the pressure by specifically holding a spot with less area, right? You can keep the same pressure, but less area, and that will get it deeper. And then the third one is patiently waiting. So once again, even if you're not deep at first, you can breathe out and then settle in, and that will help to generate pressure. So there's definitely some CEs that you can take and help it out, but ultimately over time we learn how to get pressure. And if somebody's just always asking for more pressure, chances are that they either have dead nerves, which is absolutely a thing. Like people's nerves will just turn off, and then warm up the fingies. People's nerves will just turn off. So sometimes it doesn't even matter how much pressure we're giving them because they just can't feel it. And so then we would need to go to places where they hurt more. Oh, yes, I should say there's a fourth thing, which is go hurt them somewhere else. Basically, if somebody wants a ton of pressure in their upper back, the rhomboids, the traps, all the common areas, I bet if I went in and I did deep pressure on their hips, on their calves, on their quads, on their scalenes, right, the anterior neck, on their thumb pad, they would realize that we're putting in some really deep pressure because those areas are going to freaking hurt. They're going to hurt a lot. And so they realize, okay, this person's giving deep pressure. They just don't feel it in their upper back because their nerves in the upper back are so tightened and so just minimized, I suppose, that they're not feeling the pressure even though we're applying it. So yeah. People yes, people can say, "Hey, put more pressure," but if we put them in the right spots, they'll realize we're doing a lot of pressure. Whew. So, what's everyone's plans for the rest of tonight? We'll probably be ending the stream here in a little bit. This was way, way more successful than I thought it would be. Unless there's any, so what's everyone's plans? And unless there's any areas of self massage you wanted me to show you real quick, I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to show you guys anywhere that you need. But anyone else doing anything? Medicate daily, anything stuck in life, watch the videos. Thank you so much, Sierra Foothills. Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. Long story short, grew up, daddy issues, tale that many people have told. And that stuff I'll get into too. Is I really want to like open up this time around. But yeah, childhood was tough. And then I had all this anxiety from it, all this depression, and I was sad. And then I got into massage school where I was 18 years old, and the majority of people in school were 30, the like 28, 29. And I started hanging out with them, and they had alcohol and weed. And so I got like quickly pulled into this life of, these 30-year-olds as an 18-year-old, just very, oh goodness, what's the word? Yeah, I was easy to convince to do things, I suppose. Can't think of the word. And so yeah, I was as a young kid, I was all of a sudden I was partying, and yeah, I got hooked on it pretty quickly. And for the first time, it was an escape from all that. So I appreciate it, Sierra. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Yes, I'm very excited to do another live now for sure. And this one was without warning, no preparation or anything. I just like, hey, you too, man. Thank you. Yeah, no, I've been doing much better this whole year. Like I said, it's now December basically. Malleable. That's the word I was looking for. Malleable. Thank you. I knew it was right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, thank you, Rosen. I appreciate it. Yeah, this was the first live just out of nowhere. I was like, boom, I'm here. So hopefully next time will be even better. If you guys want to see anything in any lives, please let me know. I'm always taking ideas. As Dan said, organized. But yeah, I hope everybody's head and neck and face feels better and a little bit of hands. I've got some cool video ideas I'm working on. The deep wisdom. Hey, thank you so much, Solar Plexus. And you guys are all so nice. I appreciate it very much. Live. Self-massage felt great. Sleeping good. Awesome, ebb and flow. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you guys all sleep good, got some food, and yeah. No, yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you guys so much. This was really fun. Like, I looked over at the timer and it was an hour, and I was like just finishing the face massage. I was like, no way, I just worked my face for an hour. But time flies when you're having fun, and it was very fun talking to you guys all. So, all right, that seems like a good place to end it. So, thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, I'll get this uploaded. I'll chop it up and upload it. But yeah, I will see you guys all next time. So thank you.